Hi there. Today, this is the second part of our ROS tutorial series, and in this series, we are covering all the ROS topics and all other concepts from basics. And in this video, we are going to see about the ROS file system, how they communicate between each other, and also we are going to, at the last, we are going to make our own Catkin workspace, and then I'll be explaining you how this workspace helps in creating our own projects. So now let's get started. So first of all, let me explain you about the file system of ROS. So it will be easy to understand what is the workspace and how this workspace helps in creating our own projects. So now let me show you the workspace, the file system of the ROS. This is the file system of ROS. So ROS basically has two main things. First of all is the ROS core. ROS core is everything. We can say it's the brain of the ROS system. So it helps in making the communication between two different nodes, two different services or actions. So what are these nodes, what are these services, and what are actions? I'll be telling you everything in detail. So basically, this on the screen you can see that this is the ROS computational graph, and in this graph you can see there are various arrows coming out with the ROS node, ROS master, the ROS parameter server, messages, and the topics, services, and back files. So what are the nodes? Nodes are nothing but they are the scripts we write and they communicate between each other. So nodes can be a sensor, it can be an actuator, or it can be any other thing which is connected to our robot. So if it is sensor, the sensor, just take an example that it is an IMU sensor, initial measurement unit. So what it will throw? It will throw the angle data in the quaternion format or any format. Then this data is taken by any other nodes, and then it is processed, and according to that the output is generated. So node basically takes the data or throws the data, and this taking and throwing of data is the main function of the node. Now how these nodes communicate between each other. So node communicate between each other using the topics. So what are these topics? Topics are nothing but the communication media between two nodes or two services or two actions. So the nodes communicate between each other using the topics. We can define our own topics, and how these topics tells others on what data you have to take. So this thing is done by the ROS message. So what are these ROS messages? ROS messages contains the data structure of the message we are going to send to a particular node or to a particular service. So this is all about the ROS node. Then comes the ROS master. So the ROS master is the thing which helps to make the communication between these two nodes. Whenever you are starting your initializing your ROS project, so basically the first thing the ROS initializes is the ROS master, and this ROS master has the registration of all other nodes, all other servers, all other services, all other actions. It has the register book in which all these nodes register, and then the nodes come to know about each other, and then they start communication between each other. So ROS master is the brain of the system. So without starting ROS master, you cannot start any node, you cannot start any service, you cannot start any action. So ROS master is the most important thing in your project. Then comes the parameter server. The parameter server is the server which contains the list of parameters you are going to deal with. So whenever you are fetching some of the parameters, constant parameters, and you need that constant parameter. So these parameters are fetched from the parameter server. Now comes the messages. So as I told, the raw messages is the basic data structure which the nodes are going to use to communicate between each other. So if I want to send the IMU data, initial measurement unit, which is in angles, it is in float format. So I'm going to make a file named IMU data.msg. It has the extension .msg. So I'm going to make the .msg file. In that I'm going to store the data structure of the message. So what is my data structure? First of all, it is the float, and then angle in x, float, angle in y, float, angle in z, and float w, which is the covariance matrix. And in this matrix format I'm going to send the data. So whenever I want to fetch the data in any of the particular node, I'm going to just I know that this is the data structure of the node which the IMU node is sending. So I'm going to accept the data in that particular format. So this was the ROS message. Then comes the ROS topics. So as I told that the communication between these two nodes are done through topics. And if I have a node and I have to send a data to another node, so I need some cable, or I need just take an example that it is a cable between two computers, LAN cable. So ROS topic is nothing but the cable between these two topics, these two nodes. So whenever I want to send the data, or I want to fetch the data, I know that the on this particular topic I'm going to get the data which I required. So I subscribe to that topic, and then I fetch the data in the form of ROS messages. Then comes the ROS service. ROS services are they are same as the nodes, but they have some different structure. The ROS services are the services which we need at a particular interval of time. So they are basically when we need to get a service from a particular service provider. So in the ROS system, when we need some ROS services, so we just start a service, we send a request, then if we send a request, then I'll get a response, and then I'll stop the service. This is basically the start stop service. This is basically a stop start structure. So this was all about services. Then comes the back files. And now whenever your project is completed, and now you have to check whether the drone or any of the system or any of the robot is working and its model states or any of the parameter you want to store, and these parameters are services stored in the back files. So back file is nothing but the logs. It records the logs. So I have to, for example, if I have to store the IMU data, I have to store the changes in IMU data during the whole completion of the simulation of the robot. So I'll just record the IMU sensors data in this back file, and then after completion of my simulation, I'll just go and I'll just check, I'll just make a command that ROS bag play. I'll explain you everything about every command about ROS. So there is a ROS cheat sheet. It is known as that ROS cheat sheet. So in this ROS cheat sheet, you are going to get all the commands which are going to be used for a particular version of ROS. So basically there are many versions of ROS, as I explained in previous video. So if you have not watched the previous video, please go and watch it, so you can understand what I'm speaking in this video. So now this was all about the upper structure of ROS. Now let's do the main thing, which is the creating of the ROS workspace. So let me explain you about the ROS workspace structure. So what is this workspace? Workspace is nothing but it is ROS workspace is nothing but it is the structure which is going to help you to make your own packages, make your own scripts, and then make the communication between all these things and complete, and it will help you to make a proper file system. ROS workspace is nothing but it is the structure of files which are going to help you to make your own packages, and in that packages you are going to make your own nodes, services, all other things. So it will be a bit confusing at this point, but as we go further and further you will be understanding everything very easily. So this is the file system of ROS workspace. So ROS workspace consists of build, dwell, and source, these three files. So build will contain all the compiled files, the source will contain all your CMake list.txt file, the package folder, and in that package folder also it will also be containing the CMake list files, and then it will contain include and source, these two main files. So include and main, in the CMake list.txt all the messages, all the services are going to be declared, so that ROS workspace could know that this is the particular message this type of node is sending on this particular topic. So this is CMake list.txt file contains. So tutorial underscore package. So this is the package which the workspace of which we are going to call, and in this workspace it will be containing the scripts, the code we have wrote, and along with that it will be containing the basic structure of our ROS messages, the back files, the source, the actions. So this is all about the structure of ROS workspace. So now let me tell you about the ROS cheat sheet. So go on internet and just download the ROS cheat sheet. You will be finding and basically download it for ROS Melodic, as we are using ROS Melodic in this particular video series. So I'll just show you how this ROS cheat sheet looks like. So this is ROS cheat sheets. So it contains all the commands which we are going to use for making this particular ROS project, ROS workspace. So now let's start off by using this ROS cheat sheet, and just see how I use this ROS cheat sheet to make my own ROS workspace. So basically I'll just keep it aside. So first of all, let's open a terminal. After opening terminal, just type ls. So you will be knowing all about the all the things containing in your home directory. So now first of all, make a folder named catkin. You can give any of name, but basically this is what the conventions we use. So we are going to make a catkin workspace which provide all your support files which will need for making your workspace. So I'll make a directory named as catkin underscore workspace. So let's type catkin make directory mkdir catkin underscore workspace. Yeah. So now let's see. So now let's go into the catkin directory. So we are in the catkin directory. So now what we have to make? We have to make our source folder cd sr mkdir src. So now this is our, we can see that there is a source folder in our Catkin workspace. Now we need to initialize it. So the command you can see in the ROS cheat sheet, it is ws tools init src. So what it will do, it will initialize, it will install the things, support files needed. So you can see that. Now we'll go into the source folder. So okay, now it is Catkin workspace is initialized. So what we have to do now, we have to make the Catkin. So there are two commands. First of all, Catkin make and Catkin build. You can use any of the thing. There is no, mostly there is no difference between that. So I am going to use Catkin build. Catkin build. So it's telling the command is not found. So what is the main problem? The main problem here is that we have not initialized our ROS. So let's see whether we have initialized our ROS or not. ROS core. Yeah, we have now initialized our ROS core. So now I'll just make Control C and I'll go out of the Catkin. Yeah, clear. So this I just used a command catkin underscore make. So now just all our workspace is created. So I'll just show you. So now this basically the file system. The workspace contains about the build, the dual and source. So now these files. So now I'll just go into the source directory, cd src. So I'll just make ls. So you can see that cmake list.txt file is there. So now I'll just edit. I'll just open it. gedit cm.txt. So okay. So now here you can see that the Catkin list contains about the version. First of all, the version, minimum version, the project, the top level, and then this is it tells that it is a top level works cmake list file. So now it will be containing all the commands. So whenever you are initializing any of your ROS package, so this first of all this thing will find whether there is a package present in your workspace, and if there is no package present in your particular workspace, then it will throw an error that no such package found. So this is the main function of cmake list files. So I'll just close it and I'll just okay. Now here we have created our own ROS package and it contains all the files, and in this we can see that I'll just show you. Here is our ROS workspace created, Catkin workspace, and it contains 3 files. First is the build. It will contain all the support files. Then is a dual. It will also contain all the support files. Then the source. It will contain cmake list files. And here when we create our own package, here all the packages will be recorded in the cmake list file, so that our workspace come to know that this particular package is present in our workspace, so we can start building on it. So this was all about making all your workspace, and then in the next series, in the next video, we are going to see how we can make our own projects, how we can install the dependencies we need, and all other concepts related to it. So hope you like the video, and if you like the video, just don't forget to like, share and subscribe.